Hey folks, it's Matt once again, and welcome back to another review. And this is a Blu-ray review, thanks to a very nice guy, Daniel, aka DMC, who sent this to me. A Blu-ray review of Invasion USA. Now, the film I'll save a review for if I ever do a Chuck Norris marathon, but this is definitely one of Chuck Norris's best films. It's a lot of fun. Directed by Joseph Zito, released from the Cannon Film Group, Golan and Globus. Before this, Joe Zito had worked on Missing in Action with Chuck Norris. After this, Joe Zito would do Red Scorpion with Dolph Lundgren, which that's another good Blu-ray that came out long ago. And Invasion USA is a great movie. But getting to the Blu-ray, I think this is a good Blu-ray. I'm glad to have this. It was worth picking up. Well, I didn't pick it up. Someone got it for me. I thought it was a really enjoyable Blu-ray. It has a fun commentary, Joseph Zito, moderated by Michael Felsher. And it's a fun commentary. Joe Zito has a lot of fun with the film. He's proud of the film. And he knows what kind of film it is. It's a comic book film of its time. And gives a lot of info. There's no dead air. It goes on for the entire running time, doesn't just stop in the middle like the Serpent and the Rainbow Blu-rays. It's a fun comedy with Joe Zito. Only the kindest things to say about Chuck Norris. And, it was fun working with Chuck Norris. How Richard Lynch seemed like he was half insane. About what he wanted to do with the film. And it's a very fun commentary. It's a fun, energetic commentary. He's self-aware of what kind of movie they made. He's not pretentious, and it's a fun commentary track. You also have about a 30-minute interview with the writer, James Bruner, in which they pretty much go through quite a bit of his career. They go through how he got into the business. Uh, he wrote An Eye for an Eye. They talked about him doing Missing in Action and how him and Chuck had come up with a script. And then Cannon had another script called Missing in Action. They did that first, and that was Missing in Action 2. And then how that all worked out. And then how he was brought on for Invasion USA. And it's actually that interview in which you hear that Whoopi Goldberg, Chuck Norris wanted Whoopi Goldberg for the female part in this movie, which that would have been interesting. Because I think this is the same year, or the year after, I think the year after she would do Jumping Jack Flash, so technically this would have been one of her first movies, but I think Joe Zito didn't want that, but apparently Chuck Norris wanted that. And he talks about how a lot of the story elements were cut back. Like, for example, you see the female reporter lady. She seems like she's going to be a big part of the film, but just I guess a lot of that stuff was cut out. Just more of a fast-paced action, which I'm fine with. But it's a fun interview. Some nice info. You also have a fun interview about 18, 17 minutes long about the effects of the movie, where you have Tom Savini, Howard Berger, and Great Nick Taro, because Joe Zito had worked with Tom Savini on Friday the 13th Part 4, and these guys were getting done with Day of the Dead, and Joe Zito's like, hey Tom, I want you here for Invasion USA, just do some stuff. So they pretty much talk about how, for the most part, they screwed around, how great it was working with Chuck Norris, that he was friendly, that Howard Berger and Great Nick Taro was supposed to keep an eye on Tom Savini's daughter, but they just left her in the bathroom and was crying all night because they didn't know what to do with it. I thought it was a funny way. It was a funny way the story was told, and how they pretty much just goofed around, and a lot of times went to Disney World. Was it Disneyland, Disney World? I forget which one. God, I forgot which one it was. It was Disneyland, Disney World. The one in Florida. I can't believe I forget. The one in Florida. I think that's the one they went to. But fun. I mean, they even admit they didn't have a lot of stuff to do. Just, blood squibs, a pair of fake legs when the terrorists go on the beach and these two people have been killed and there's a shot where people step on the bodies of the people that were just killed. I mean, they just, like, little things, pretty much just having fun, chilling, staying there for the whole shoot. How they would talk with Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris would tell stories about Bruce Lee or some other stuff. And again, fun interview because it's cool hearing from Tom Savini. Howard Berger, Great Nick Terrell. It was cool to have them on there. You have a trailer, you have a TV spot. The only drawback is nothing, no interview with Chuck Norris. I don't know what the deal is. I have to assume they would have asked Chuck Norris for an interview. I have to assume that because this is a pretty packed. I mean, you got new commentary track, you got interview with the writer, you have an interview with the makeup guys, who didn't even have much to do, and they'll be the first to admit it. But that's still about 15, 17 minutes long. A trailer, TV spot. The film, I thought the picture looked fine. I'm not the best guy to review picture quality. I like that you even have some stuff on the disc. It's not just bare bones. You have the classic cover. And yeah, fun commentary, two pretty decent interviews. Trailer TV spot. I mean, again, the only thing I can think of is an interview with Chuck Norris, but I don't know if Richard Lynch is still with us. For some reason, I want to say he's not. I could be wrong, though. But for some reason, I want to say he's not. But, yeah, did Chuck Norris just say no? Did he say, I don't want to do any? Like, what's the deal? I really wish... Does Chuck Norris not want to talk about his action movies because he found God? Because he's a Christian now? But, yeah, he was willing to do Expendables 2. I remember one time I watched a video or a comment. Someone has said that, oh, well, Chuck Norris doesn't do interviews because he never gets asked. But I have to assume they asked Chuck Norris on this. I have to assume that. There's no way they would have just not asked Chuck Norris. And if that's the case, then why didn't he do it? I mean, I really don't know why. I mean, that's what's cool about Dolph Lundgren. Dolph Lundgren will sit down and talk about his movies. He talked about Army of One. He talked about I Come in Peace. He talked about Red Scorpion. He definitely talked about Rocky IV. What was the other one? Even Universal Soldier. So he talks about his movies. I guarantee if they did The Punisher, he would sit down and talk about The Punisher. So, like, Dolph's good at that. Van Damme. They don't really do a lot of, well, other than Universal Soldier and stuff. They haven't really done a lot of Van Damme stuff now that I think about it. Like Shout Factory, Synapse, those kind of things, guys. Because I would love to see one on Hard Target, Time Cop, Bloodsport, but yeah, either way, sorry, I'm going off track. If it's U.S.A., I think it has a fun commentary, has two good interviews. I just wish Chuck Norris interviewed. Again, maybe they asked and he said no, which I would love to know why, Chuck. Why? People want to hear your thoughts on a lot of these movies. What's the deal? Like, someone asked him, like, if someone sees Chuck Norris, ask him, how come you didn't do an interview for this? I would really want to know that. I really want to know why. But other than that, I'm glad to have this. This is a great gift. Thank you, Daniel, aka DMC from New Zealand. This is great. Wonderful to see this film again. Again, I'm going to wait to review the film itself during a Chuck Norris marathon. But that review from Movie Hole, so definitely one of his best movies. I think one did what was it? Tino Lorber did a Blu-ray for Delta Force 2, but I don't think there's anything on that. And I think there was a Missing in Action 3 Blu-ray, but I don't think there's anything on that either. So, other than like old DVDs like the Octagon, or there was another, was it a Force of One? This is one of the only Chuck Norris films that has features. Sad, but true. Yeah, I can't help but wonder if they'll do Missing in Action one day, because Joseph Zito, you know, he's done commentaries for Red Scorpion, Friday the 13th Part, and this one. I'm sure, who knows, maybe if this sold well enough, they'll do Missing in Action 1. I don't know what the whole deal is, but either way, I thought this was a good Blu-ray. All this missing, again. The only thing I could say would be better was a Chuck Norris interview or commentary, but either they didn't bother asking, or they did ask and Chuck Norris said no. So I don't know what else to say. Anyway, thanks for watching this short little video. Take care, and we will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.